delivered with a slow, steady rhythm, building in conviction. You ever look up at the stars and wonder what truth they've seen? I do. Because the truth, the real truth, the kind that cuts clean through bone, it don't change with time. It don't bend for comfort. It don't bow to opinion. It just is. And you can deny it. You can call it old-fashioned. You can say it don't fit your lifestyle, your brand, your idea of justice, or your Instagram feed. But if you deny this, you are not saved. Now, I ain't talking about religion with a capital R. I'm talking about that deep down, soul level compass that knows right from wrong when no one else is watching. That still, small voice that whispers when the world screams. That line in the sand that you don't cross, even when you're alone. Especially when you're alone. See, the world will offer you 100 ways to justify the easy road. Everybody's doing it. Nobody'll know. Just this once. It'll wrap up compromise in a pretty little box and call it success. But you take that deal, you sell out truth for comfort, you deny what you know in your bones is right, then no, my friend, you are not saved. Not from your guilt, not from your shame, not from the mirror that waits for you every morning. Salvation, real salvation, is not in how loud you preach or how high you climb. It's not in the suit you wear or the crowd you impress. It's in the man or woman you are when the lights go out. It's in standing for something so true, so raw, so eternal, that even when it costs you everything, you don't flinch. So here's the hard truth. You can't fake it. You can't rent it. You can't post it. You either live it or you don't. And if you deny it, this truth that burns at the center of all things, you are not saved. But if you accept it, if you grab it with both hands and don't let go, even when it hurts, even when it's lonely, even when it breaks you wide open, then you ain't just saved, you're free. Truth doesn't change for comfort. It just is. That's the kind of truth that doesn't flinch in the face of opinion. It doesn't shift when the winds of culture blow, and it doesn't soften just because somebody's feelings got bruised. Truth is the bedrock, the foundation beneath everything that matters. You can paint over it, pave around it, even try to bury it. But you can't change it. Not really. Not without losing yourself in the process. We live in a world that likes to twist truth like it's made of wire. We bend it to fit agendas, stretch it to cover our shame, or clip it into neat little quotes for convenience. But truth was never meant to be convenient. It was meant to stand. Even when it's heavy, even when it costs you friends, comfort, popularity, maybe even your reputation. Because truth doesn't exist to make you feel good. It exists to set you right. Comfort, on the other hand, comfort is a liar in silk pajamas. It whispers sweet nothings in your ear while it lulls you into compromise. It tells you you don't need to speak up. Just blend in. Don't rock the boat. And it feels good for a while. Comfort gives you the illusion of peace. It buys you time, but not integrity, not peace of mind. Because deep down, your soul keeps the score. It knows what you compromise to stay comfortable. That's the problem. People want a version of the truth that doesn't disrupt their dinner plans. Something soft, something that agrees with them, something that lets them sleep at night without ever having to change. But real truth, it's not interested in coddling you. It's not a therapist. It's a mirror. And sometimes what it shows you hurts. But that pain, that's not cruelty, that's clarity. That's correction. We've gotten too used to the idea that truth is personal, customizable, something you can download like an app. Live your truth, they say, like there's 100 versions of the same street. But there aren't. Truth is not a buffet. It's not open to interpretation when it comes to right and wrong. You can dress it up with clever arguments or drown it in noise, but it doesn't budge. It doesn't need you to believe in it to remain true. What makes truth powerful is that it doesn't owe you comfort. It's not here to make you feel safe. It's here to make you real. And real is not always pretty. Real is hard. Real has consequences, but it also has weight, purpose, gravity. And in a world full of spin and filters and surface level validation, gravity is sacred. Gravity keeps you grounded. And when you find yourself in that quiet place where the show's over, the audience is gone, and the applause has faded, that's when truth comes calling. It doesn't ask what you did for likes or how many people clapped. It asks what you stood for. You can dress it up with clever arguments or drown it in noise, but it doesn't budge. It doesn't need you to believe in it to remain true. What makes truth powerful is that it doesn't owe you comfort. It's not here to make you feel safe. It's here to make you real. And real is not always pretty. Real is hard. Real has consequences, but it also has weight, purpose, gravity. And in a world full of spin and filters and surface level validation, gravity is sacred. Gravity keeps you grounded. And when you find yourself in that quiet place where the show's over, the audience is gone, and the applause has faded, that's when truth comes calling. It doesn't ask what you did for likes or how many people clapped. It asks what you stood for. But you refused to trade even when the price was steep. And if you built your life around comfort, if you built it on what felt easy instead of what was right, you'll feel the difference, because comfort fades. But truth remains. You either live it or you don't. There is no halfway when it comes to truth. No gray zone safe enough to straddle both sides. You can speak it, preach it, sing about it, dress it up in quotes and hang it on your wall, but if you're not living it, breathing it, bleeding for it, it doesn't count. Truth isn't a slogan you wear when it's trendy. It's not a costume for Sundays or a script you memorize to look wise. It's a lifestyle, a discipline, a fire you keep burning even when the wind picks up and the whole world tries to blow it out. Living it means putting your convictions above your comfort. It means waking up every day and choosing to do what's right, not what's easy. And some days that choice will cost you. You may lose approval. You may lose friends. You may lose status, promotions, invitations, and applause. But if you're really living the truth, you learn to be okay with that. You learn to be at peace with being misunderstood, even hated, because you know what you're standing on is real. The test of truth isn't how loudly you talk about it, it's how deeply you're willing to suffer for it. Anybody can raise their voice, shout in a crowd, quote a few lines that sound righteous, but when the spotlight's gone and the stakes are real, when it's your job, your name, your future on the line, will you still hold that line or will you flinch? Will you fold under pressure and call it being practical? Or worse, will you twist the truth just enough to keep your seat at the table? This world rewards convenience. It promotes the illusion that you can have integrity without sacrifice, that you can speak truth without consequence. But that's a lie. Living truthfully costs something. And if your truth hasn't cost you yet, then you might not be living it. You might just be admiring it from a distance. There's something sacred about the person who refuses to sell out, the one who's been offered the shortcut, handed the excuse, given the out, but still chooses the hard road. That's someone you can trust. That's someone whose word means something because they didn't just memorize the lines, they walked them out. They took the hits and they kept going. That kind of person doesn't need to convince you of anything. Their life speaks for itself. But let's be honest, it's tempting to fake it, to nod in agreement while keeping just enough distance to avoid the fire, to agree in theory, but not in practice. You might even convince yourself you're living the truth because you associate with people who are. You repost the right ideas, you echo the right language, but deep down, you know if you're really living it, when no one's watching, when the crowd's gone, when it's just you in the silence. Living it means you don't get to opt out when it gets personal, when it affects your family, your money, your pride. It means truth shows up in your habits, your patterns, your reactions. It's how you treat people who can't do anything for you. It's what you say when you're angry. It's what you choose not to say when gossip would be easier. Living it is in the details because truth always is. You can't compartmentalize it. You can't live the truth in your work, but lie in your relationships. You can't be honest in public, but manipulative in private. You can't claim the truth when it serves you and ignore it when it exposes you. It's all or nothing. You either live it or you don't. And here's the part most people won't say out loud. Living truthfully is lonely sometimes. It's not glamorous. It doesn't always come with a microphone or a moment of recognition. Sometimes it just looks like keeping your mouth shut when you could retaliate. Sometimes it looks like telling the truth when lying would smooth things over. Sometimes it means walking away when every part of you wants to stay. It means going without, being misunderstood, and standing alone, not because you want to, but because you must. But here's what separates the real from the counterfeit. Real truth carriers don't need the world to clap. They're not in it for validation. They don't follow truth like it's a trend. They follow it like it's a compass, because it is. And without it, you're lost. No matter how smart, successful, or well-liked you may be, if you're not living the truth, you're drifting. Your decisions lack weight, your words lack power, your life lacks substance.